Hey, welcome to Sipper Social Club. I'm Jeremy. Today I have a couple of Johnnie Walker Red labels, a newer bottling, and one from the 1970s. This is the best selling blended Scotch whiskey in the world. I'll see how 40 plus years makes a difference when I nose these, taste them, and give them a mark. Starting with the red label from the 70s, this one's coming in at 86.8 proof. That's 43.4% ABV. Let's see how this is on the nose. So lots of caramel notes in this one, brown sugar accompanying that. There's like this toasted wood smokiness to it. Not peat, but just like a wood smoke. Just a very hint of like a sherry influence. But yeah, this actually is a decent nose. Very approachable. Nothing off-putting about it at all. Just heavy in the caramel for sure. Let's go palate. Lots of caramel influence in this. Right from the nose to the palate to the finish. Finish is almost all caramel. Brown sugar going right along with that. A little bit of apple, like a caramel apple kind of aspect to it. Finish, medium to short, I'd say. Decent amount of viscosity. Definitely mouth coating, oily, very oily whiskey. The extra, 3.4% ABV does make itself known in that regard for sure. I'd say that it's slightly basic, I guess, on the finish, and the balance is definitely off. There's definitely a lot of caramel influence to this. Now, if you take a look at this whiskey, it is hard to see on the camera. This bottle is very thick. This is a half-gallon bottle. The glass is thicker, but you can trust me, this is very dark. So much darker than the newer bottling. Just wondering how much caramel colorant E150 is in this, and am I tasting it? Is that what I'm tasting in this? Hard to say with any definity, but I mean, I would have to rather guess that, yeah, there's a decent amount of caramel coloring in this. The caramel note on the finish is almost approaching where you'd get to like that artificial kind of caramel note in it. That being said, really impressed with this whiskey. Going with the expectation it's going to taste, somewhat similar to the new red label, which is, a harsh whiskey when you drink it neat. This one definitely tastes older. Like I said, the viscosity is pretty decent. There's a decent amount of complexity. It's just that balance and that caramel is completely off. Score-wise for me, I actually thought this was pretty decent whiskey. I don't think you would guess it was a Johnnie Walker. I don't think you would maybe guess it was even like a blended Scotch. But yeah, I'm gonna go 77 out of 100. I think it's a pretty decent whiskey. Value. I paid $100 for this on the secondary market. That included shipping. Shipping a big bottle like this is kind of expensive. Probably at least 20-25 bucks. So figure it comes maybe like it's an $80 bottle plus shipping on top of that. I think that price, even though I wouldn't buy it again because I don't need another half liter, I think it's justified. I would think that $100 US for this thing shipped. The nostalgia of it, just the curiosity of trying something from decades before and comparing it, I think to me is worth it. So I'm gonna leave the value at 0, which I mean the price is justified in my opinion on this one. Let's compare these head to head. So this is a newer release. I purchased this in 2018. I've already reviewed it. I reviewed the entire Johnnie Walker core range. You can check it out here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This one is 40% ABV, like all the new Johnnie Walkers are now, except for the green, which comes in at 43. But let's see if this is quickly on the nose. Yeah, so you get lots of like youthful whiskey notes in this. You get like a kind of like a new make spirit note, lots of alcohol influence to it. Almost kind of like agave too. Agave kind of note to this. Yeah, definitely more sharp, more attacking your nose for sure on this one. Not the greatest nose for sure. Let's go quickly on the palate. So definitely a decent amount of like peat aspect to that. There's definitely some more smokiness to it. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's not that good. I think I scored it 68 out of 100. I can't remember what I put for value. I'll put it here. So yeah, these head-to-head, completely different. Like I said before, you would not guess that this one is anything to do with Johnnie Walker Red that you'd be used to now. Lots more viscosity, creamy texture to the older one. This one more sharper, more like attacking your palate. So it's almost like you can't really compare them. They're not really the same whiskey at all. I would love to know what distilleries make up each of these. I think you can assume maybe some young Colilla in here, maybe some Talisker. Diageo owns both of those distilleries. Back in the 70s, I'm not really sure what they were maybe using. It'd be really interesting to find out what components make up this. And also the grain whiskey to malt whiskey ratio. So I feel like maybe this one has a little bit more malt in it than grain. This one, hard to say, but you do kind of pick up like maybe like a little bit of grain in the Johnnie Walker Red. So there you have it. There are the scores. Yeah, so definitely big differences. You kind of hear about people reviewing older stuff versus newer stuff, especially blended Scotch whiskeys, Johnnie Walkers. I remember having an older black label from about like the early 2000s and just completely different than the black labels now. So yeah, always interesting to try these head to head and see what kind of comes up. So what I'm going to do with this giant bottle of Johnnie Walker Red now, I think it's actually going to be a good mixer. I think this with just some simple like club soda, Scotch and soda with this on some rocks would be actually a pretty decent cocktail. So this is a bottle I'm probably going to take to a big gathering whenever we can do that again, and yeah, share it around, make some cocktails. I think it will be good for cocktails for sure. Let me know what you think. Johnnie Walker, have you ever had like an older red label, an older black label? The differences are vast, and it's interesting to see where a company like Diageo sources their product from, where they can bring in stuff and try to match a blend. I mean, I think nowadays they try to do it pretty well, but look at the green label. Look at the green. It's changed drastically in the last couple of years. The older ones, a lot different than the newer ones out today. So interesting to try that. Maybe I'll do that review coming up sometime soon as well. Anyway, let me know what you think, guys. Johnnie Walker, I know most of you hate the red label, but this one completely different and about a 9-point score better in my opinion. So there you have it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Always appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed, hit the button. Lots of awesome stuff coming up on this channel. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. As always, guys, have a good one. Cheers.